Nationwide has joined us on stream. Going to be taking on Ven here in the losers bracket. Of course, Ven, we got to see earlier get knocked into losers by TLC. Now having to face up against one of the top 5 players in the West Texas area in Nationwide.
Yeah, Nationwide. I mean, you have plenty of experience seeing him in this the menace that is this Bowser Jr. Right? I mean, let's be honest. At this point, I think we can all kind of accept this is just Sonic the Hedgehog if he was a turtle.
Yeah,
that out of, I don't even know what you call it, just the hammer, he's out of the thing. It's basically a Sonic back here.
Right.
When you really think about it.
More or less. You know, if Sonic is the Crayola, Bowser Jr. is the Rosart, you know? it's like the same thing. It's like, oh, honey, it's like, look, we got you the 96 pack for Christmas, and it's just
you
kind of red.
No.
And approximately orange.
No. You're spitting. That is definitely like, nobody's ever made that comparison before.
Yeah.
But you're right. Was there anybody as a kid who was like, oh yeah, Rosart crayons, I don't want to die today?
Yeah, you know. And
how am I supposed to color? In this book, they're going to crumble in my hands.
This is 2 spots away from Violet, I guess.
Yeah.
But a strong lead opening start here.
This is Biv all at the same time.
Yeah, this is Roy G. Bibb's cousin Ron, you know?
Oh, man. Well, hey, as we're talking about crayons and eating them, perhaps, Nationwide has been doing a great job of that because he is up 3 stocks to 1. And, you know, again, this is part of that Bowser Jr. game plan. Great DI on that up B as well. We saw it earlier that Ven was trying to read the DI against TLC with that up B, ended up not needing to, but that's what he was trying to read, is just that slight SDI that gets you away from the direct elevator.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting to see. And I love Nationwide is my boy. I love this man to death. But it's always fun seeing him return to the Bowser Jr. because he's always as characters I think in this tier bracket that Zelda and Bowser Jr. are in is like. You know, you at a point where like, oh, is the character holding me back? I should try a top tier. I should do this. I should do that. And then of course, you know, here we are, top of the line, big tournament, and of course the tried and true comes out.
See Nationwide, yeah, of course, sticking with that character, and you know, to a degree, like you were saying, you know, what of a believer in a character that nobody believes in? I love that from Ben. He's been dropping a lot of those confirms, the down tilts into the lightning kicks a lot today. So I like to see him go for like a reset instead and say, hey, maybe if I'm not going to get anything guaranteed, maybe my opponent will give me something. And trying to scout that out early is huge.
Absolutely. He's got a whole stock to make up with, but I feel like this neutral can be kind of all right for Zelda. You know, like we riffed on earlier, his side B is basically kind of where spin dash, but about as worse of a spin dash as it is that DI was, you know. But those burst options will catch you sometimes. Nationwide's going to go up 1-0 here.
Yeah, the side B, the clown cart, is very powerful. It is actually quite a difficult tool to deal with, and that gets like doubled online, right? But even offline, still definitely the bread and butter of that character. Nationwide showing it off, right? You know that it can be a kill move with that spin out, which is rather savage in its own right, but it's the combo game, I think, that really makes that move shine, and the way that you can bounce out of it, especially when you like land with it. It's so effective, and Nationwide really takes it to the next level that a lot of other Bowser Jr.'s
that inherent mix-up in and of itself is, you know, being able to pull it back, you know, spin out, jump with it. You know, like it's a lot of utility and gives Bowser Jr. a surprisingly competent combo tree. But we'll have to see. Again, this is a best of 5. Characters, these stranger characters that you see like Zelda and Bowser Jr., they do kind of thrive in best of 3s where you can kind of like throw your hand at them and see what's going on. But as it's a 5-game set now, so you know we are gonna have to actually adapt here. Come on.
We talked about that earlier too, and we've seen because of that TLC set that Ven is very capable of adapting. Just, you know, but watch out when it's against Kazuya, right? Here against, you know, Bowser Jr., maybe you have a bit more of an opportunity. I'm not sure what the Bowser Jr. scene is like over in Las Vegas and maybe NorCal as well, but nonetheless, you know, Ven has definitely been on the back foot for most of this set. Nationwide's really been throwing a wrench into his plans.
Yeah, he's kind of putting the ball in Ven's court to respond to what he's going on, and when you're spending game 1 and probably a chunk of this game 2 trying to figure out exactly the options that Bowser Jr. can throw at you at a high level, you know, it kind of has to, understanding the matchup kind of takes a backseat to adapting to whatever Nationwide is doing.
And those particulars might start coming out as we get later into this set. But for now, Nationwide continues to be the one on a roll. Nice, not very committal forward air that lets him fly in for some extra damage afterwards, avoiding that Nehru's love. Really good stuff to Nationwide. And now continuing to just compound this lead. Again, these forward airs are spaced so perfectly.
It's a very interesting move. I've also seen what they can do as a mix-up on shield too. Is if they land with the forward air, they can like fastball it right at the end to like shield poke. It's a very interesting move.
Yeah, it's got that like late lingering hitbox that's like ultra safe. Speaking of safe, I need to talk about something that's not. One is punishing that forward smash. That move is safe. But something that Ven has been doing that is not very safe. I get very nervous about the way that he plays around the ledge. And doing that sort of like Wii Fit Trainer style planking has been fine. But I think on like 80–90% of his recoveries, he holds down like that. That's a free situation because Nationwide is charging that forward smash. But even in moments where Nationwide is standing there ready for a ledge trap, Ven still holds down and gets that hitbox out. That's making me very nervous because that's how he lost that set against TLC.
Right, absolutely. We'll see if Nationwide can figure out his own version of the counterplay against it as this set goes on. But for now, it's at least been keeping Ven in the realm of these games. He keeps trying to like call out these cart approaches with the lightning kick. Obviously, not the most reliable move in the world, as we've seen, but I mean seems to be a pretty okay risk reward, especially if you do happen to catch Bowser Jr. on his Koopaling hitbox.
I was about to say, yeah, if you get the headshot, right, then that'll be really big, even if he's in that clown cart. But Ven does close out that stock, got a slight lead working. This is the first time that we're going to have to see Nationwide make at least a small comeback in terms of stocks in this set. I'm interested to see, if what the style is basically going to be there.
Yeah, and that's an interesting maneuver too. Is like when he Nehru's loved the cannonball, it didn't really go hardly anywhere, which is probably good in the Nationwide department, but an interesting thing knowing that he probably can't do that in neutral if he happens to Nehru's love it.
Love the idea to go in with that up air there, by the way, right? I mean, you were just talking about one of those offstage situations that you have to have that knowledge for. That was another one from Nationwide right there saying, okay, you're charging up that Phantom. I might not even have time to throw out a forward air. You might let that Phantom rip. So instead, he goes for the approaching up air, which is so fast that he's able to interrupt and then get a small follow-up on anyways.
Yeah, the up air is a menace at low percents. Even combos into something after, you do an up throw into up airs, you can get 2 or 3 of those. It's got a nice little scoopage hitbox on it too. The hammer kind of does its job well enough.
Really good counterplay with these forward airs from Ven. You were talking about it earlier. It's not even just on the clown carts anymore. It's just on raw movement on those approaches with those aerials. Nationwide is starting to, you were talking about it, right? The adaptations to the player and not necessarily just the character. We're only in game 2, and those are already starting to come out from Ven. So if I'm Nationwide, I'm going to start digging deeper into that bag of tricks.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if he can, Nationwide can pick something out here, because Ven's kind of laid claim to the real estate of this stage so far, but the cart confirmed, going to tack some extra damage on, puts him on the ledge, rolls right behind that F smash, dodges anything crazy.
Speaking of crazy, that aerial is super crazy strong. We talked about that hammer, and now both of these players even percents, and a single move could end the game on either side, right? And oh, the parry! That actually almost got the kill for Ven, but Nationwide drifted in far enough that the Knight was not able to connect, dropping that up B, but Ven intelligently going low for a second recovery. No big commitments either!
Yeah, good patience by Ven to, you feel the pressure to roll or drop shield there, but kept stoic, kept strong, turned the sides on Nationwide. And again, we're still in last hit situation. Come on, it's feeling a little, oh, there it is.
Yes.
Car crash. He was feeling the need for speed, fast and furious. Insert your favorite car, Burnout Paradise on the PlayStation 2. Either way, he spun out and got the dub there.
Fake it if you're out. Such a good game.
Unfortunately, yeah, the song, the game made me unironically like Seether for a little bit. It was insane.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh man, they got my ass.
Got me the Yellow Card though. Great band.
Yes, Yellow Card is good.
So Nationwide able to kind of skirt away with that, quite literally, moving up 2-0 in this set. But we saw Ven almost complete the reverse 3-0 the last time around. We'll see if he can do the same here, if Nationwide can kind of hold on to this 2-0 lead and walk out of here still in top 96.
You know what I want to say, Bobbles? I'm proud of us for getting through a whole bit about Bowser Jr. getting in car crashes and not making a Nationwide joke. We did it.
Oh,
high five. We did
it.
We didn't even make the obvious joke. Good job for us.
It's a, As much as it's been on our side.
Yeah, I was about to go that exact direction. You beat me to ruining the bit. Thank God.
You know, if it wasn't gonna be, it wasn't gonna be.
NSYNC.
It's gonna be. We both know what we're about.
Yeah. Well, regardless, the goddess of victory has been the one on Nationwide's side thus far. He's up 2-0, and it has really been down to the clutch. These have been close games, particularly that game 2 really came down to the wire, but the patience, I think, in the end is really what saved the day for Nationwide. We see, right, getting that parry, holding down on that up B, and then, you know, timing that neutral get up a little bit too predictably. Nationwide getting to play with the lead one more time.
Yeah, and I like that. I like using the cart up B as a way to cover the ledge option too. I would imagine you just kind of down smash or maybe something there, but using the cart, like, it's a longer lingering box, and it just it puts even more urgency onto Ven to like pick something if he's not already dead, you know.
See, again, those setups with the clown cart, not even on the wipeout, but just bust him right in. There was a lot of damage to be held there, and he's picking his spots so well, right? Canceling them very early because he knows that Ven is going to pick an option to try to stuff him very often, but the recognition from Nationwide has been excellent.
Yeah, it's been really good. I think one of the things Zelda does definitely exceed at is reversing you in your advantage state. You know, you try to extend a little bit, try to do something a little cheeky, and she just throws a lightning kick in your face for your audacity, basically.
But speaking of audacity, by the way, Din's Fire, I don't even care. My car built Ford tough.
Ford tough, you know.
Oh my gosh, Nationwide, he is trying to get Ven to react to anything with the patience from the Las Vegasian Zelda? Is that a
Vegasite, maybe?
So one who is from Vegas?
Vegasoan? But yeah, I mean, yeah, and we've seen Nationwide try to elicit pressure and try to like force a fear option out of Ven and over the set, and Ven really hasn't been giving him that much at all. He's comfortable staying his shield. He knows that like even if he commits to the shield and Bowser Jr. grabs him, what's Bowser Jr. going to do out of a grab?
Right, exactly.
You know?
I appreciate you picking up the point that I forgot because I didn't know what to call somebody from Las Vegas. This is why you're my goat. You keep me honest.
I don't know what I couldn't tell you what the official term is myself.
But you do know when the ADHD takes hold of me. For that, I appreciate it. Of course. And now we're down to Nationwide potentially losing the first game of this set. And remember, Ven did go down 2-0 against TLC earlier, brought it all the way to a Game 5, hoping for a different result at the end of the set. And we will indeed see the 3-0 thwarted going into game number 4. Because that Zelda, again, you talked about it, but the lightning kicks have been on point.
And I'll defend it to the death. If I take a game against a Zelda, usually Smash Valhalla Bastion are the first 2 off of my list. I learned my lesson against Ray. I don't want to go on that style of stage anymore. You know, so
single platform, she loves to hold that down.
Man. Her and her homie, her bodyguard, like they hold that entire stage down. So we'll see. You know, Nationwide's off of the Ven counter pick now. We can kind of find ourselves back at BS2. Intuitive decision making, Oscar. Thank you. But again, these dual platforms are going to be good for Nationwide to kind of mix his approaches up again, keep things a little bit more diverse, and hopefully stop this reverse zero that Ven's trying to cook up here.
I like that Ven's not trying to do too much with those Mecha Koopas either, right? He's like, okay, I'm holding it. As I say that, he lets it you know, just blow him up.
Right.
So, you know, forget what I was saying, I guess. But that he's not trying to take an aspect of the game that he doesn't really know how to fight with and then try to make it his own. It's like, no, this is tournament. I'm not familiar with it. That's fine. You got to fight to stay alive. Both of these players are in losers bracket. This is somewhat early for both of them to be in losers bracket at a tournament like this, right?
Yeah,
you would expect them to do extremely well.
Absolutely, and I imagine this is probably 49th that they're playing for, give or take. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a go big or go home for both of these players. And man, that lightning kick, paying more. He's been getting more and more accurate with these as the set has gone on. I don't know if maybe he's just throwing more out and it feels like he's being more accurate, but man, they've made a much bigger difference in these later games than they did at the beginning.
Not only has he been hitting more of them, but the headshot percentage has gone up. Like,
yeah, he's putting this poor kid in timeout.
If you're looking at his stats on like CS Bet or whatever on hellcase.org. I was on trade servers on both TF2 and Counter-Strike back in the day. For worse and for worse. But nonetheless, Ven getting back to that lead, one more time. And even on PS2, you were mentioning like, oh, like, great, he picked the stage that was probably best for him. Like, way to suss that one out. But Ven is doing a really good job of holding back the Bowser Jr. here, right? I think all that extra space is giving him tons of room to react to those big setups.
Yeah, he's done a great job, and he's playing that half step back seems to be working a lot for him too. It forces Nationwide to kind of have to fully commit to like a cart approach or to throwing out a normal that may not be so safe, just because his typical fairs and stuff that he's been trying to poke at Ben with aren't hitting anymore.
See, a little bit too early to throw out a new Phantom, and there comes the armor, that grounded side B, or I think it's just the beginning of the side B, if I'm not mistaken, right? You know, a little bit easier to maybe time that on the ground, but yeah, Nationwide definitely using that to great effect here against Ven. Tried to air dodge through to grab the Mecha Koopa as well, so give that back, but no dice. Still fighting his way back into this one very effectively.
Yeah, it made us about halfway on the damage chart back to even there. Try to get something cheeky with the up B at the ledge, and the sharking again. We're back to it.
Oh, he caught it mid-air too. Terminal velocity. Who's that? Man, doing such a good job of spacing around the Knight as well. Good juggle here. Ven did have his double jump available, chose to go right back to the ledge as usual. And I mean, notice that as the set has gone on, Ven has been holding down at that ledge to get the hitbox out a whole lot less.
Yeah. I think once showing a game number 2 that Nationwide was prepared and ready to get to punish with a stock for that, it puts the fear is now in Ven's mind, at least in that specific situation, to kind of hold off on the tried and true.
Well, all of a sudden, this game has turned head over heels. Remember, Ven was the one to get the first stock in this game at number 4. The nasty movement, though, the crowd popping off for that one, because Ven just made like an L shape.
Yeah, I didn't even see him actually platform ledge cancel that. It looked like he just kind of missed and fell, but I guess he was right at the very edge of that platform to get it going there. So good kind of little check by Ven, but he's got a bit of ground to make up here. At 93%, he could. We could see it. We could see it's another car crash here. Come on, his insurance rates might be going up.
Oh, here it is! Just as you speak it into existence, 113% now on Ven. And Mecha Koopa will come back to assist at a later date. It's a surprise tool that will help us later, but Nationwide back into it, setting up the juggle, not overcommitting to anything. And he's looked for that reset so many times.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Ven just really kind of hasn't been giving it to him. Because, I mean, they're great scouting options as well. But at 123, he's trying to hide. Ven trying to hide behind this platform, this Phantom here, give him something crazy to close this game out.
Again, it's been all about that patience from Ven. Nationwide just bailing out of there. I'm not dealing with that Phantom, but instead you're going to deal with this lightning kick. Nationwide was on the verge of closing out that set, and instead, Ven once again puts himself on the cusp of a reverse 3-0 in his favor.
That's a tough situation to be into, because like Ven puts the Phantom down, right? But she forces Nationwide, who is acutely aware of that he's stuck on the platform, there's a Phantom coming, burns all of his resources, his jump, double jump, and his cart to be able to dodge the initial Phantom, and now he's just sitting in the perfect zone for Ven to come in and cap that off. Unfortunate use. Good on Ven, though, to exhaust the resources and get the stock. We're running it back to PS2 for game number 5, and like I said, maybe Ven can close this reverse 0 out this time around.
And, you know, part of it is that Nationwide did not pick a stage to counter pick to on his own, right? This is the stage that Ven has been finding some success on, even with, you know, Nationwide picked it in game number 3. Still believes that this is his best option, even if Ven showed some really, really solid stuff. You know, sorry, I said game number 3, game number 4, that last one. But now, you know, gonna have to turn it around and close it out. And again, he was only really one hit away from doing it. Just one miscue on the defense that Ven was really able to take advantage of. Yeah, I mean, the defining thing in this set has been patience on Ven's side. If it's there, he's doing good, and if not,
Yeah, absolutely. And knowing how Nationwide thinks, he definitely sees the last game as a game that he lost due to more than a game that Ven won. But just because he knows he doesn't need to be making those kind of decision disadvantage with a character like Bowser Jr. But we'll see if he can adjust, make it and close it out here, deny this reverse 3-0, and keep his bracket going. There's the car crash, actually closing the stock out this time.
Spinning out 360s and then right back to it. Again, you know, Nationwide just so solid at closing out these stocks. And Ven has, if it hasn't been the lightning kick, it's been a little bit of a struggle. He doesn't have necessarily the access to like the easy elevator, because Nationwide has been really solid in his spacing, right? Hasn't given Ven that opportunity to just, oops, you know, you drifted into me, now I get that free KO.
For sure, he hasn't, and maybe this is a game where, and we saw another, you know, aggressive side be there. Maybe this is a game we start to see those more committal, those more like Unga Bunga options, for lack of a better term. You know, making those full commitments to it in this 5th game, since he's been showing the more kind of like testing the waters, kind of give you 1-2 back off kind of play style.
Ben definitely feeling some of the pain right now. Again, just having trouble closing out those stocks. And that's the thing, is that Zelda has a lot of raw power. The access to it is just so spotty. And Nationwide really taking advantage of that. Bowser Jr. is a mobility-based character who also happens to be able to slug you in the back of the head if you're not careful. And that is exactly what Nationwide has been doing in this game. And not mixing up the recovery. The no mix-up compared to the way that that Game 4 ended. He did the exact same thing when Ben started going for that big setup, and this time it ended up working.
You see these little dashes back and forth, just like waiting, begging Ben to pick some sort of terrified option there. And again, the car crash didn't get the right hitbox on there. Still got a ton of damage on it. He's got a good lead to pad with, but we saw Ben close it out before. Getting the stock here and now is going to be huge, mentally and of course gameplay-wise for Nationwide as well. And it misses the tech check. That's unfortunate too. I don't think you really could tell which direction he was going to end up going.
Yeah, it's tough. And right, if you air dodge too early, then you lose out on that valuable recovery resource to make it back to stage. And the neutral tech, perfectly timed to not get forward smash. Nationwide now just needs that one stock to close this out against Ven, who, again, the surprise factor for Ven has been there. And, you know, 2 stocks to 1 lead, I'm always concerned about somebody with rage in this game. And I don't know about you, Bobbles, but I'm feeling like this isn't over until I see that victory.
As a known rage abuser, yeah, it's definitely like...
Bowser? No.
There have been Bowser, like, look, man, you see games like these and you're like, I'm still in this. I'm 3 or 4 big hits away. I'm an armored move away. So, which helps. It can help the mental a lot, even in characters like Zelda, who can burst option you pretty bad, as we saw even just a game ago.
Patience around that Mecha Koopa. He's been hit by that enough times recently that he just doesn't even want to deal with it at this point, but still needs to find that big opening. And Nationwide, there's that landing forwarder you were talking about. So hard to divine. And now at 84%, we're right back to where we were in that game number 4. Nationwide just 1 or 2 hits away from closing it out.
Yeah, he's got much more of a lead to play with now this time. Complacency is not the way to go, of course. It's in the back of his mind that he did throw the last one, so we'll see if he can lock in and close this out. Ven, of course, playing on the back foot.
Good stuff right there from Ven to be able to pick up that Mecha Koopa. Still Nationwide at a percent where it's not necessarily easy for Zelda to get a KO. And a bit of a commitment with that Phantom. We're just inching, it feels like, ever closer to Nationwide, just slowly getting that lead. But hold on. Are you feeling another Game 4 repeat, Bobbles?
It very well could happen. As the analyst in me is saying it's still in Ben's court momentum-wise, but the friend of Nationwide in me wants him to clutch up so badly.
We'll see. Empty land again.
He's
the
not
patience,
giving it to you.
The patience from Ben. You're never going to find it, but also Nationwide doesn't want to guess. He wants something that's guaranteed because, like you were mentioning, he's got that lead. And eventually throwing out that solid back air. The sweet spot connects.